coming back to you live from our rooms. I'm Zach.
And I'm Shaw. Did you think I broke for a second there?
No, I was see how long you were going with it.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, I wish it went longer, to be honest. So,
Let me give it one more try.
okay. But this time, you have to go for at least 10 seconds. Because I need time to run to my door and close it so my cat doesn't come scream at me in the middle of
You're
this.
right. This is engaging content.
Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah, quick.
And I'm
Go.
and I'm Shaw.
Alright, Sean, did you make it all the way through? You still going? Oh, don't falter. Don't falter. There you go. Keep it up. No, Sean, you're faltering. You're faltering. There you go. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. You're doing great. Oh, you're doing so good. What happened?
It's crazy how much changing just the pitch made that harder to do, actually.
I believe it actually. Cause it takes a different amount of
It changes how much air is going through. I don't know.
Also,
It's
different
kind of
muscles
weird.
are engaged, going up and down. I don't know.
Also, that was pretty dumb that I did that. I was sick this weekend. I still kind of have a sore throat.
Well, I'm glad that spicy nuggets can help with your throat, Sean.
It's not, but that's
You see,
okay.
no, you were getting rid of all the sickness in you by doing that.
Oh, I pushed it all out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
pushed it right out of me.
That's what I do every time I'm sick. I do that for maybe 2 or 3 times a day, and by the next day I feel great.
Dude, that sounds super real, and I'm gonna do that now. Always.
Make sure to report back and let me know how it goes.
Hey,
Yeah.
you will be the first to know.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Yes! 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 Okay.
I'm so glad that you were able to show the levels of excitement I felt, but just couldn't manifest.
I'm here. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to vocalize your emotions. Since you're a
Thank
very
you.
closed off person, I'm
Yeah,
here to help you out with that.
I never speak words, and when I do, they're unintelligible. So Sean is my translator for both the words and the emotions.
I'm here to help people understand what you're talking about. And obviously, Zach, wait. What are you what Zach, you
Yes, Sean?
shouldn't come on. I'm a married man. You can't be thinking those things about me.
Oh, well, I can.
Oh, well,
And
fair
I
enough.
will.
Oh,
Those eyebrows are so on point today. It's
they're
insane.
really not. Dude, can I level with you?
Hit me.
Let me level with you right now. I went through a phase,
Oh?
probably like in junior high, when you're just like really self-conscious about stuff. I can't remember exactly when, but
Sure,
I do
sure.
remember that I went through a phase where I was very self-conscious about my eyebrows.
What? Wait, I'm sorry. Why?
And that's the thing. It doesn't make like I'm not like into fashion. Like there's no reason for me to think about my eyebrows ever. But there's just like something like where I'd like finish showering and like look in the mirror and just like look at my eyebrows and the way they were shaped and like the way they're like really hairy kind of toward the middle and then they like kind of fan out a little wider than I want them to. And then they like it's just like so blonde on the edges but darker near the middle. And I was just like, man, I just don't like my eyebrows, but I can't do anything about it.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. I'm sure past Sean
No,
was traumatized by his eyebrows
no, no.
every morning.
I can't. I don't remember how long this went on. I think it was just one of those things where it kind of circled back around occasionally. I don't care about it anymore,
Are
obviously,
you
but like,
sure? Are you sure, Sean? Are you just repressing these feelings?
I mean, I mean, well, I, I think we should talk about something else now.
No, Sean, it's okay. You can be honest with yourself. This is a safe place.
I just, I'm just,
Let it out.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, you want the sickness out? Yes. Yes,
Puking it out.
perfect.
I figured it must work the same for mental illness as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's all illness.
Why do you think
All
I'm
right.
so perfect recently?
Recently. How recently did you start doing that
Oh,
practice?
it's last couple months, man. And
Oh,
I've
that
never
makes a lot of
felt
sense.
better. Can you
Yeah.
see this glow, this aura I give off?
Yeah, I do. As I look into your profile picture, which is just the letter Z, it really, I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah, but what's the color around it? Look at that glow, Sean. Look at that glow. Told you.
I don't think the color orange automatically implies glow.
Oh, it does.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. My bad.
Like, obviously.
Oh, my bad,
Sean,
sir.
sometimes. Why do I do this podcast with you, Sean?
I don't know,
It's
man.
just-
You know what? No. You know what? Because you're asking me that question. I'm asking you that question. Why do you do this podcast with me, Zach? What's your problem? Are you stupid? Why are you wasting all this time?
Well, it all started 4 years ago. On
Oh,
a
I'm into it. Here we go.
on a
Story time.
not so lonely break between classes. You were there,
Keep talking.
and
Keep talking.
well, there we go. We were at class. Well, just before class, and we walked around, got some food, saw some Smash Bros, and talked about the deeper parts of life. You know, like fire ants and balloons ascending to greatness and false goals. But really, that's what I noticed. There was potential in Sean. Potential that was waiting to be used dry. Potential that I could extinguish for my own gain. And so, in that moment, I planted the idea right into Sean's little mind of him using himself on a podcast for my own gain. And the best part was, he thought it was his own idea all along. And ever since that day, here we've been, recording once, twice, sometimes even thrice. And you know, it all led to this moment of using Sean once again.
Wow.
What a great outro song!
It's so long. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of weirdly got into that.
Well, like I was like, Fetch, what do I do? Sean's playing stuff, and then I just kind of got into a flow. I was saying nothing important, but it sounded so meaningful.
It just like it all. Yeah, I think I found the correct chord pattern that actually like made it feel like there was something progressing. And
No, I was impressed.
you quickly jumped on board. At the beginning, it was just me hitting random chords, and you could tell it was pretty rough. But
You got there, man. You got there.
I did, and you did too. I was very impressed.
Well, I mean, I was always there, but it's
hey,
fine.
Hey, Sean, give us a round of applause for that one. All right.
Yes, I got the last clap. Suck it. Anyways, moving on. We don't need to talk about that anymore.
Man, this episode is awesome. I love this episode. It also sucks, but I love it.
I mean, it's fine. But Sean, I have a story,
You have a story
and
for
then
us?
I have a thought.
Oh,
So I'm
Zach,
kind
what
of
are you
prepared,
thinking?
but I'm not really prepared at all.
Dude, that's great. Sounds great.
So I wanna jump back to a previous episode of Spicy Nuggs, not so long ago.
Oh.
I think it's been like maybe 2 weeks. I shared the story of I started my new job and stuff, right? I shared the story of I had to work with 2 students at the same time. It was like kind of stressful. I didn't know what I was doing exactly right, and I was like, but like I made it through, right?
Uh-huh.
yesterday. My work decided that I had completely mastered working with 2 students. And you know,
Makes
you know
sense.
what? He can do better. He can do
Mhm.
more. And so I had 3 students at the same time yesterday. And woo
How'd that go?
boy. You know, it actually went surprisingly well, but man, so like we use a lot of binders that like just like that's around like, in the area. Like you have to like grab the right binder for the right student, make sure that you have their binder, and like make sure that you have the right papers and everything they're working on, copy stuff if you need, blah blah blah. Right? I had
Sure.
such a mess of binders. There was just stacks of binders, and I was like, "Fetch, what was this sort of what?" And I was like, "Okay, I know I was doing this with you. What are we doing over here now?" Like it was like, but like at the end, I think actually went surprisingly well. But yeah, I just figured I would. Shit, I'm waiting to go up to 4 students next, and just seeing how high I can go until the work
Honestly,
decides that I fail and they can't do that anymore.
honestly, I can't say I'm that surprised. And this is why, Zach. It's because you already told me that you've been employing the puke all of your mental illness out
It's true. It's true.
medicine. So like it just makes sense that your potential is growing quicker than they can keep up with you,
Well,
frankly. So
that's
yeah.
the thing, Sean. So I'm actually really worried. I feel like they see a lot of potential in me, but by making me do this stuff, I feel like I'm losing potential.
Oh
Because by
no.
doing that, I'm losing out on so many opportunities of other things I could be doing with that time. So really, I'm
You're
losing potential right now.
you're losing your uselessness.
I am, and
Oh
I'm
no.
terrified of this.
Hey man. As someone who's like pretty useless overall, I gotta say, I'm really sorry to hear that. But I'm not really gonna do anything about it because that would be kind of
No,
helpful.
oh,
Not all.
I would never ask you to lose your uselessness, Sean.
Thank you.
This is like my midlife
I
crisis right now. So,
I appreciate that. I really do.
speaking of this philosophy with the tree,
Yeah. Yeah.
I still troll Jacob with this like constantly. But recently, me and David had this stupid joke of, you know, we should really just live in the present. You know, forget your homework you have due tonight.
Yeah.
Live in the present right now. And so
Yeah.
recently, we have combined the idea of living in the present with maintaining uselessness. And
Oh, that's so amazing.
it's been great.
That's awesome. That's so
Really
perfect.
is my new favorite philosophy, which I ascribe to, absolutely 100%. And
Oh,
that's why I'm
awesome.
quitting this podcast. I'm quitting school. I'm quitting my job. And I'm going to live in the moment from here on out and maintain my potential through uselessness.
Well, hey, and congrats for that, my guy. Congratulations for that.
And I'm Sean. I'm not. I'm saying like I found this revelation. If you want to come with me, I understand. I'm actually just going to go live in the woods with some
Oh,
blue Gatorade and write poetry the rest of
oh,
my life. So
oh. Dude, we've already proven I'm kind of a poet, so like
I'm just
I
saying,
think
if
I
you
might
want
be
in,
down. I mean, it's not like I want to go or
I mean,
anything.
it's kind of an exclusive club, but I'm willing to make the exception.
I I mean, like if it's not like a big problem for you, if it's not going to cause too much paperwork or anything like that, then yeah, sure, I'll go along.
Oh yeah, you know what? No paperwork, Sean. We live in the moment. We don't think about
You're
future
right.
crap like documents and paperwork.
What is poetry except for artistic paperwork? You know what I mean?
Artistic paperwork. That's so good. Holy fetch. That's my next
Artistic
YouTube channel.
paperwork. No, honestly, that is a pretty good name of like a band or a YouTube channel or
It is
something. That's pretty
straight up.
good.
It's straight up.
That kind of flows pretty well.
Artistic paperwork. Maybe that will be our next podcast where it's podcast but in written form.
Oh, genius. No one's ever heard of anything like.
It's crazy, right, dude? Except it's gonna have such a similar format of like unpreparedness as Spicy Nugs that we just get together and we just write down the conversation between us, whatever happens, and then that's the podcast, the artistic
That's it.
paperwork, if
Yeah.
you will.
Honestly, let me be real with you, Zach. I cannot wait for in 30 years from now for your best-selling novel. Um, I mean, you'll have a bunch of them by this point,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
this one, your most recent one for will be a it'll be called the Spicy Nug Effect. I'm pretty sure.
Spicy Nug effect.
And it's just going to be you reflecting on our time in Spicy Nugs and how it changed your entire life and how it was actually the most meaningful part
Oh
of your whole life. Like that was the most meaning you ever
boy.
felt.
No. Oh my gosh. Okay, here's the problem. Looking back at college in like 10, 15 years, Spicy Nugs is literally going to be a major part of that, and that's so
Oh,
strange.
dude, it's so weird. It's like why would I spend so much time doing this?
Okay, this is actually crazy because like kind of like looking back, like this idea of looking back leads into the thought I had.
Oh, beautiful.
This is insane. It's like we planned it or something, Sean.
Oh my gosh, we're like so freaking in sync, dude.
So
Holy
good, so
cow.
good.
We're so
Um,
freaking good.
anyways, so
Anyways.
I don't know if it's that I'm back with all in-person classes this semester and I'm just hanging around UVU campus a lot more than I have previously again, or what it is. But it's I don't even know how to say what I am like feeling or experiencing. But almost it's so strange being at UVU again because when I walk around, it has like just a different feeling than it previously did.
Hmm.
Um, and part of it almost is like a nostalgia, which is
Yeah.
so strange to say, but like, and it maybe I just maybe this is like an effect of like my time at UVU like coming to a close soon, and like maybe I'm just like more aware of this or something. But like, I'll like walk down a hallway and I'm like, oh, I remember I had a class down there, or like, oh, I used to sit there all the time, or something, just something really stupid, and like that has no meaning behind it. But like I feel like for me the whole atmosphere at UVU has changed. Just being there,
Mm.
like just not even doing anything, just simply being there, and I don't know what it is or why it's changed, but it's just something I've been like very aware of, especially the last couple weeks, and I don't even know.
I
And
think
like
I
part of me's
think
like, is it because Sean's gone? And like I'm just like I'm like it's just me now. I'm the only one left in the wild jungles of UBU.
yeah, spooky. Um, I think I understand where you're coming from, and as much as I'd love to just take full credit for it,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna bounce this question off of you because this is how because I felt similar things like last semester. I think I know where you're coming from on this, but I could be completely off. So I'm gonna ask you something. Um, reflecting on like your not even your first semester because that was so freaking long ago, but like our first semester together when we started Spicy Nugs, right?
Mm.
Like that reflecting on that and who you were then and how your life has changed since then and how you have changed since then. Um, when you think about that, like how does that make you feel?
It's interesting you bring this up because this is also something I've kind of thought about just like walking around UVU. Um, I'm really interested to see if like maybe this is somehow reflected in Spicy Nugs as like we've gone on, but almost feel like a very different person now. Like,
Mm.
like I almost feel like there's been like two me's at college. um, and it's interesting because I feel like that's kind of part of the thing is that I'll look back like at a time and I'm like, and I was in like such a different circumstance. I was just starting college. Things were so fresh and new, or like, um, and I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but it's just like, yes, like I feel like I feel like I'm almost a different person now, which is strange because at the same time, like, I feel like I'm not. It's like I still do the same stupid stuff. We're still doing spicy nugs. I still like the things I like, still dislike a lot of things I don't like. But at the same time I feel like maybe I've gotten a bit more ground of who I am as a person.
Hmm. Yeah. I yes. um
Because I feel like,
I
especially starting out, I feel like a lot of our conversations were just like we're here, but like we have some vague ideas. I don't know if you relate to this at all, but like maybe like we didn't have a sense of like real direction, or um, it was just like we didn't know exactly who we were. I didn't know who I was really. Like I knew like concepts that I agreed with, or things I disagreed with, but I didn't necessarily understand why a lot of the time. And I feel like maybe now I kind of understand that more, and kind of like more I'm more comfortable with this like identity that I've like adapted, or I don't know.
hmm. Dude, I'm I almost screamed, but I didn't want to interrupt you. I wanted to have I wanted to talk about things relating to this. I'll save because it's gonna go off in the wrong direction. So I'm gonna save that for another time. Maybe
Okay,
next time we'll
okay.
talk. But like what you just said is so perfect, I think. The idea that like because like I think this period of life and college and like leaving your parents or whatever, people often categorize it as this time to find yourself,
Mm,
right? To discover who you are. And I like the way that you said it because the idea of like finding yourself, I think, I don't know, I've had different thoughts on it throughout time, obviously, but I feel like it's kind of short-sighted because you know who you are. Like you are you. Like that's
yeah, yeah.
almost the only thing you can really know in the world, even if the person you know you are feels very lost and
Mm,
confused. Like you know that, right?
yeah.
So I like the way you said it. It's like it's not so much finding yourself, it's just like starting to understand why you are the way you are.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so taking this back to your original point, um, for me at least, the thought behind this kind of like shift in how things feel, just like overall as you're walking around, as you're doing nothing at UVU, right? Um, to me, you used the word nostalgia before, and I like that. Um, for me, nostalgia always has like this tinge of like sadness to it. Even though it's
Mm,
like it's the whole idea of nostalgia is like, oh, we're happy because we remember this thing from our childhood, but like that's gone now. And I
yeah, yeah.
think you're reaching a point, and a lot of people, always are reaching these different kind of points at different moments in life. But it's like time to take a step, I guess. And it's like, well, what about all that stuff that happened? Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's all just gonna be gone now, I guess. Like, I guess I just got to move forward and keep moving forward. Like, I learned from it, and I'm really grateful that it happened. But I guess I just got to keep walking forward? Question mark. Like, it feels like it shouldn't change because it's been the way it is for so long. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Does that
No,
feel?
yeah. I like how you mentioned nostalgia has like a certain sadness to it. Because I almost feel like that's kind of like the feeling, like the atmosphere I get at UVU now. Um, and I think that part of that, like, and like you said, it is taking a step. Leave like my time at UVU is almost over. Like I'm gonna be leaving that behind soon, and I feel like maybe that's where this sense is coming from. That like, um, one like I try like when I first started college, like I was like determined to do like my absolute best. Like I still refuse to fail a class. Like I will not let it happen. Um,
Hmm.
but like, um I feel like I tried so hard going back, like coming to college, to be a good student and take on like these responsibilities and be that person. And now it's like I'm almost at that point where I'm leaving that behind,
Hmm.
which is
Hmm.
very strange. And it's almost
Yeah.
like but like this is what I've like worked so hard to be.
Yeah.
And now it's like, but at the same time, by working so hard to become that, I feel like I am even more confident. Like I'm more confident in myself and like who I am by doing that. So maybe I'm ready
Yeah.
to leave it behind. So
I I love that. I love that. Oh gosh, I love that. Um, it feels. I think that you captured the idea really well there. The idea that it's not only that you're leaving behind college and you, because whatever, right? There's going to be other things in your life, like
right.
college and UVU. You might go back to college, or you specifically are going to go teach. So, like, like it makes sense, right? But I think a larger part of it is exactly what you just encapsulated there. It's not just that you're leaving behind this moment, but that is part of it. But it's also that you're leaving behind who you were.
Yeah.
Um, and the process of like closure in letting go of that person, but also at the same time recognizing that it's not like you've completely changed out of that person. Because again,
Yeah.
you never truly don't know yourself because you are yourself. So like it's not like you're just like goodbye all those old memories, you're done, like pack away in the suitcase and put it in the closet. Like
You're
that's
not
stupid.
needed anymore.
Exactly like you said. It's like I have all of this stuff that I've used to define myself with, and I'm going to have to use it differently, and I don't know how it will apply anymore.
I almost feel like this conversation has kind of answered a a thought I had a while back in Spicy Ducks. I remember making this comment that like I like 'cause one, I am not a very confident person in general. I would never describe myself as a confident person. But I
Hmm.
did talk about in Spicy Nugs how I feel like I had a sense of confidence, a much greater sense of confidence, and I didn't know where it came from.
Mm.
And I almost feel like maybe this is where like the source of that. Like maybe it's just like the source of identity of like finally like realizing why I am the way I am, like who I am, and like the what why I believe the things I do and things like that. Maybe that's like just like the whole reason. Because I do because like even thinking back to the very beginning of college, I wasn't even confident in my abilities of how far I would get in college. Not necessarily of like an intelligence point of view. It was more of like a um
Effort.
effort and do I have the mental fortitude basically
Mm.
to
Mm.
survive 4 years of college or however long it takes. And I part of me was hey, I feel like I've said this before, so maybe it won't come as too a surprise. But like, part of me was convinced that I would get halfway through college and drop out. Like, and even
Mm.
after I passed the halfway part, there was still part of me was like, all right, you made it halfway, but like, you're probably still gonna drop out next semester. Like, and now I'm
Mm.
here, and so it's like, in a way, like, I'm so glad I've overcome that. And like maybe that's where that confidence is. Like yes, you made it. Like you found like you've and at the same time you figured out who you are. But I don't know.
What time are we at?
We are at 30 minutes, Sean.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Shoot. Do I want to? Fact. It connects so well. I'm gonna just say it. It's fine.
Do it. Do it.
I was gonna make this its own episode, but it doesn't really matter. So one of my favorite artists, his name is NF, or he goes by NF. Released a new song recently, and NF, I've talked about him before. He raps a lot about his inner demons, and specifically like his inner demons are like characters in his songs. So, for instance, in one of his albums, Intro 3, it's the first song on the album, and he's literally having a conversation with his fear.
Oh, interesting.
It's an incredible song. It opens with What are you scared of me? That's embarrassing. If it wasn't for me, you would have never wrote Therapy, which was his previous album. Like you owe everything to me. Are you scared? We need to work together, right? Um, but his most recent song, and something he's alluded to before in his songs, is that he's never met hope. He's met fear, he's met anger, he's met a lot of these darker emotions, and he's very in tune with those because of a lot of the stuff in his coming up days. But he has never met hope. And so the newest release was called Hope. And he gave hope a voice for the first time. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's just incredible. But let me see. There was a specific line that like just took me back. It was is incredible. So Hope's talking about and NF himself, because it's all him, is talking about all of the tough things he's had to go through, all the struggles he's had, all of the inner battles he's had, right? Um, Talking about how if I'd never had to hit rock bottom, would I be the person that I am today? I don't believe so. Um, and then he says, I'm a prime example of what happens when you choose not to accept defeat and face your demons. It took me 30 years to realize, and this is it, that if you want to get the opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself, sometimes you got to be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason. Um,
Dude.
yeah.
Dude.
Oh. And so like that brought to my mind that question of like, well, are we ever not ourselves, right? Like what does that mean? Like, and what you just said, it's just like those inner battles, and everybody has them to one degree or another, right? But like we're all fighting something within ourselves. Like I think it's just almost natural, especially in today's world. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
like there's voices, and it happens at the end of the song. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna send it to you after this. The
Please
music video
do.
is
Please
incredible.
do.
But at the end of the song, he's wearing like all white, and all of a sudden like this blackness starts ripping out of his clothing as the dark voices start trying to scream at him. So they're like, "You'll never evolve," and then he answers back, "I know I can change. We are not enough. We are not the same. You don't have the heart. You don't have the strength. You don't have the will. You don't have the faith. You'll never be loved. You'll never be safe. Might as well give up, not running away." And so it's just like hope is finally fighting back in like a realistic and cool way. And I let that like idea sink in that like it doesn't feel natural for me to be what I'm being because I know who I am. I've lived enough life to understand, even though I may not understand fully who I am or why I am the way I am. I know that I'm usually the guy who doesn't try this hard. I know I'm usually the guy who doesn't make it through all of this. And this like just encapsulates the idea that, well, maybe you just need to be okay with not being yourself and letting yourself change because the process of change means you're not going to be yourself, right?
Right. Exactly.
Anyways, yeah, that's a yeah.
Sean, I'm glad that after all of this, we could finally get back to my favorite topic in Spicy Nuggs.
Oh
Of
my
change.
gosh, it was a trap. It was
Yes,
a trap.
I got him. He fell for it at the very beginning.
How could I be so easily defeated?
You see, I have to make it like I have to make it seem that I'm not talking about change, but really I'm talking about change. You can never
The
escape.
irony. Zach's got to fulfill his change quota. It's just
True, it's true. The sponsors were really on me this season, especially. They're like, Zach, I'm talking about change a whole bunch. I'm like, listen, I'm trying. Sean keeps shutting me down. He says no every time I bring up, a good concept with change in it. But don't worry, I have a plan. And my plan is to make Sean say the one to bring up change. And you know what? It finally came to fruition. All my hard work, all my scheming, we made it.
I'm impressed. Like, what can I say?
Thank you.
And hats off to you.
I'm not wearing a hat, but
Hats
hats
off.
off.
Yeah, I pretended.
Oh, same. Even though it was
Yeah.
to me. So, Weird. Anyways.
Mizaki.
Oh my gosh. Get me out of here.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm still Sean.
And I'm still Zach.
We'll see you next time.
Peace. Well, it all started 4 years ago.
I'm into it. Here we go.
On a
Story time.
Not so lonely break between classes. You were there.
Keep talking.
And,
Keep talking.
Well, there we go. We were at class. Well, just before class. And we walked around. Got some food. Saw some Smash Bros. And talked about the deeper parts of life. You know, like fire ants and balloons ascending to greatness and false goals. But really, that's what I noticed. There was potential in Sean. Potential that was waiting to be used dry. Potential that I could extinguish for my own gain. And so, in that moment, I planted the idea right into Sean's little mind of him using himself on a podcast for my own gain. And the best part was, he thought it was his own idea all along. And ever since that day, here we've been, recording once, twice, sometimes even thrice. And you know, it all led to this moment of using Sean once again. Well, Sean, while you have technical difficulties, I think this is a great time for me to start the recording, so the people can be in this journey with us. Well, now I'm devastated.
Holy crap, that was close.
Was your sound coming through your speakers or something? Like...
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot to switch that off last time, I guess.
Oh, it's funny.
Oopsie poopsies.
That is a oopsie poopsie. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed, you know. That's how I live my life.
I mean, you
I don't want to brag.
Good for you. I think.
I love the idea of someone who like is embarrassed constantly, and like that's their like main goal in life, and so they're really proud of it, and when they say that they're proud of it, people get embarrassed for them, and it makes everybody else super uncomfortable. But the person is just like, oh, look at all this joy I'm spreading.
They're just thriving.
Yeah. Everything just escalates more and more, feeling more and more awkward, and they're just living because of it. It's their fuel, it's their fire.
John, I just have one question.
Yeah.
Why are you describing yourself?
Because it's my podcast, and I can talk about myself if I want to, Zach.
Well, actually, you can't, because it's my day today, Sean. My day. This is about me.
Why would today be your day? Is it Zach? Oh, shoot. I forgot to check my watch clock calendar. It is Zach Day.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I never miss a Zach Day.
Man, and I didn't even get you anything.
You know what? It's fine.
Almost like,
it's fine. No, it's
almost
fine.
like it doesn't even matter that much to me.
No, It's fine. It's fine. It matters to me. And because it's my day, I'm the one who's important right now. So therefore...
Hey, man, I'm glad it's important to you and you alone.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, we all need important things in our lives, like very personal things that nobody else cares about. So I'm glad you found something.
Yeah, thank you. And with that out of the way,